most invisible girl in school disappeared on a Tuesday. By Friday, everyone wished she had taken her secrets with her. Nobody knew her name, that's not an exaggeration. Claire Denning had been at Westbrook High for 3 full years, and if you asked any random kid in the hallway, "Do you know Claire?" they'd squint and say, "Which one is she again?" She sat in the middle of every class. Not the front, not the back, always the middle, always quiet. Always wearing the same oversized gray hoodie like she was trying to disappear into the walls. The only unusual thing about her, the one thing people remembered later once it was too late, was the small black notebook she carried everywhere. Every class, every lunch break, always writing. Nobody ever asked what she was writing, nobody cared enough. Tuesday, March 4th, Claire didn't show up, nobody noticed. Not until her homeroom teacher called her name twice, paused, and just moved on. Wednesday, still gone. Thursday, empty seat. By Friday, the school quietly announced Claire had been reported missing. Police were involved. And just like that, the girl nobody knew became all anyone could talk about. When administration opened her locker, they didn't find textbooks or gym clothes. They found 41 notebooks, same small black cover, all filled front to back in Claire's tiny, precise handwriting. The vice principal, Mr. Hargrove, was the first one to look through them. He spent 20 minutes alone in his office. Then he made one phone call. Then he locked all 41 notebooks in his desk drawer and told staff they contained nothing relevant. 2 teachers standing near his office said they heard him on that call, voice low and shaking, saying 4 words before he hung up. She wrote it all down. Claire hadn't been journaling. She had been documenting everything for 3 straight years. Every conversation, every pattern that didn't feel right. Dates, times, names, exact words. Because Claire had figured out something in freshman year that nobody else had, or nobody was brave enough to admit. Hargrove was deliberately failing certain students. Kids from low-income families. Kids whose parents never showed up to school board meetings. He'd quietly manipulate their grades, just enough to redirect scholarships toward students whose families made generous donations to the school's private fund. 3 years of proof, all in those notebooks. And Hargrove knew she had it. Police found Claire 4 days later safe at her aunt's house 2 states away. She had left on her own. She told investigators that 2 weeks before disappearing, she had left an anonymous envelope on the principal's desk. 20 pages of evidence. The principal called her in privately the very next day, told her she was mistaken, told her to think carefully about what happens to students who cause problems. She was 15 years old, alone in that office. The most powerful person in the building had just threatened her without saying a single threatening word. So she ran. The story broke within a week. The notebooks were pulled from Hargrove's desk as evidence. Hargrove was fired. The principal resigned. 17 students whose grades had been sabotaged over 6 years had their records corrected. 2 reapplied to colleges they'd been rejected from. 1 got in. Everyone called it a victory. But here's the part that never made the news. When investigators went through all 41 notebooks, they found that the last notebook, number 41, was only half filled. The other half was completely blank, like Claire had stopped mid-sentence. The last thing she wrote on the very last page was a date, March 4th, the exact day she disappeared, and underneath that date just one line. "He knows I'm still here." Nobody ever figured out what that meant. Claire herself said she didn't remember writing it. And Hargrove, on his last day before termination, was seen standing completely still outside the school, staring at Claire's old locker. Not angry, not scared, just smiling.